What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to episode 41 of the Tim Tebow dynasty. In this episode, we take on division rivals, the Indianapolis Colts. After losing our first matchup to the Colts, we have won the last three, hoping to make it 4. Coming into the game, the Colts' strengths are their linebackers and safeties, and their weakness on defense is their defensive line. Ideally, you would expect my offensive line to have a good game today, because they're all rated higher than every single player on this Colts defensive line.
Harris is lined up now as a slot receiver from the gun.
But apparently they didn't get the memo because they opened things up with 2 straight sacks. Some players to note on this Colts defense are linebacker Aaron Curry, who gave us a problem last year, middle linebacker Aaron Croker, who was their 2014 first-round pick, and Robert Mathis at right outside linebacker, who's an 84, but he's getting up there in age. That was a mistake by me. Aaron Croker was not their first-round pick. He was a third-round pick that has developed pretty nicely for them, who's now an 82 overall. Golden Tate makes a much-needed catch on 4th down to give us a first down, picking up 23 yards through the air. In the Colts secondary, they have corner Vontae Davis, who is their best defensive player as a 95. They have free safety Anthony Bethea, who's a 94, and strong safety Laron Landry. And just a reminder, we are without our starting running back, Maurice Jones-Drew, and my top receiver from last year, who led us in receptions, which was rookie Zach Mia, who's now in his second year. He's going to be out like 2 or 3 more games. Golden Tate should have caught that one, which would have set us up for 1st and goal, but he got hit and he dropped the ball, which seems to be a big theme for us through these first couple of games. I had Justin Blackman open on the right side of the field, which would have been a touchdown, but my offensive line again continues to struggle, giving up another sack. And it being 4th and 17, I'm not going to kick a field goal. Our field goal kicker sometimes misses, so we're going to go for it. Hopefully we get a touchdown. My mistake, I should have kicked that field goal, because now we turn the ball over to Andrew Luck in the Colts offense. And it looks like Andrew Luck is struggling this season through the first 2 games. And so far this game, he has yet to score a passing touchdown. He's thrown 0 and 1 interception. So not a great start to his season for Andrew Luck. That could be a big reason why the Colts came into this game 0-2. Just trying to get rid of the ball there instead of taking another sack, because this Colts team is blitzing, and my offensive line continues to struggle, so we complete the pass but lose 2 yards in the process. Our offensive line struggling. We're able to pick up the first down after a nice 23-yard gain on the ground from Tim Tebow. Again, it looks like we might break our single-season rushing record that we set year 1, so don't be surprised if we get really close to that record and possibly break it. Our first-round pick gets 2 carries for a total of about 0 yards. I'm having a hard time judging if it was a good pick or not. I didn't make the pick. The computer makes the picks and decides who we sign and don't sign. So they took a running back first round, and he's our 3rd-string running back. My problem is trying to determine if he's good or not based off how he does with our offensive line struggling. But I mean, from what we could tell from when we use him in our passing game, because we only have 4 healthy receivers, so a lot of times when we call 5 receiver sets, he's at 5th receiver. So based off of that, he's a pretty good receiver. It's just having a hard time determining if he's good at running the ball, because our offensive line, again, sucks at blocking, both passing and rushing. 'Cause so. 'Cause 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 '
First down coming up. Ridley's going to get it from the eye. They bring in the extra tight end.
And we're back at the start of the second quarter, up 7-0 on this Indianapolis Colts team. Hopefully, it's a blowout. We don't want to lose another game to the Colts like we did season 1. And we kick off the second quarter with a fumble. Not by me, but we still fumbled the ball, turning it over to the Colts.
Play action. Looking for an open receiver on the right. Going to lose yards here.
Had nobody really to go to on that play, so I had to take what I could get, which was a loss of yards instead of a sack. But all my receivers were covered.
Lined up in the slot. Escaping the pressure.
And again, my receivers are all covered, and our offensive line gives up another sack. They do better than we did last week against the Texans, where we gave up 10 sacks. Today, they only give up 7. So, slight improvement. Not where I want us to be, though. Third and long is no problem when you have legs that can run through a brick wall, just as Tebow did on that play, picking up the first down. Justin Blackmon picks up his second catch of the game, now at 47 yards. A reminder that I'm trying to break Calvin Johnson's record for receiving yards in a season with Justin Blackmon this year. He needs to average 130 yards per game for the last 14 games this year, as long as he doesn't get hurt. Justin Blackmon picks up a nice deep ball, breaking away from the defender. We're trying to do that a lot this game. We're trying to get him those yards. We might have to work on it more this season. But our chemistry is getting better. I realize what his strengths are. His strengths are getting to the end zone. And my strengths apparently are running out of the pocket when it breaks down, because they're all a bunch of trash players, and picking up the first down when I need to. And we're about midway through the second quarter. Justin Blackmon already has over 110 yards for the game. Pretty good start. Hopefully I can keep going to him the rest of the game, get him closer to Calvin Johnson's numbers, since he didn't have great weeks 1 and 2 against the Packers and Texans. And it seems like every time I get to the opponent's side of the field, my offensive line gives up a big sack, which pushes us back. Now, I don't know if that sack was on me for running the wrong way. I probably could have ran it to the right. It looked like there was some room. But the offensive line did give up, stop blocking, so it's probably a combination of it being both the offensive line and my fault, but another sack.
You're near midfield. It's fourth down. What do? I got the answer right here. You punt it. Play field position. Make the other offense drive the length of the field to score.
4th and 11. I was going to go for it, but because of the 2-minute warning, the coach wants us to punt. So, again, if you guys don't like the punts, I could take them out. They're not that exciting to watch. And that is a new punter that we did sign in free agency. I can't remember his name at the moment because I don't really care about punters that much. It's not really an important part of the game when you have an offense that likes to go for it on 4th down. The only punter that I really do like, mostly because of his sports show now, is Pat McAfee. If there's a way for the Jaguars to get Pat McAfee off his Colts team and sign him to our team, I'd be pretty excited. Trade our punter and a 3rd-round pick for him, because we don't draft very well anyways. Bring in a punter that I like. We could even have Pat McAfee be our kicker, which would be cool. Have a punter-kicker combo. Only take up one roster spot. I don't see why they don't do that in the NFL. And the Colts showing they're a little undisciplined, picking up a penalty for being offsides. And because of that penalty, we are now in the red zone, on the verge of possibly scoring.
They'll take that gift from the defense and line up now with a new set of downs. Going across the middle, gain of 16.
Nice throw that time by the quarterback.
Justin Blackman makes the catch, just short of the goal.
Not a lot of room, so you got to really drive the
Now that's a pretty ridiculous stat right there. So far in the first half, Andrew Luck has a total of 8 passing yards. 8.
Getting away from the pressure. And he's in for the touchdown. There's the signal from the far side. It is a touchdown. He broke the...
And it was that touchdown. We should be up 21-0 at halftime.
First and 10.
Coming back in the second half, up 21-0. I don't talk much about my defense. We do have some solid players, but no real stars on this defense. They do great most games, but we'll see how they do this season because we're going to need them, especially in the playoffs again, especially in games where I throw a lot of interceptions. And after 2 straight horrible run plays, we're facing 3rd and 22.
Time and time again.
Jim, when you get in these situations, there's not much you can do. 3rd and long, not easy to pick up first down.
I'm pretty sure I went to the right guy. The defender just made a better play, so now we have to punt the ball.
He's going to challenge the punt coverage. And he is brought down.
And our punter, once again, has another bad punt. I don't get why we pay punters. Because after that awful punt, they started at the 45-yard line, and we were able to get a field goal. So the punter clearly couldn't do his job. Not that our offense did our job on the last drive, but we're looking to do it this drive. And I fumbled on that play. Picked up the first down, but unfortunately, my tight end decided to get a penalty for clipping, so the play was worthless.
Well, contact around the knees, and they flag them for the clipping call.
So now instead of a first down, we get moved back. So now it's 1st and 16.
Able to move the chains after that penalty. Looks to his left. Had it, but dropped it.
And I get the ball to my receiver, Mercedes Lewis, and he drops the ball after he gets hit. He's also injured, but he will be able to return to this game so we do not lose him for multiple weeks, just like we did Jones Drew and Zach Meeil.
He's looking to the right here on this throw.
Dwayne Harris was the second catch of the game, setting us up for 3rd and 10.
Takes a receiver in the slot. Throws to the right. Golden Tate makes the catch. Plenty of zip on that throw.
Golden Tate makes a catch for the first down. Right now in the game, I'm completing 77.8% of my passes. So far, so good through the first 3 games this year for breaking Drew Brees' record for completion percentage for a season.
Away from the pressure. He's got some daylight. And they bring him down at the 38-yard line.
Well, you get a couple first downs.
Now, I could have tossed it to Ace Sanders right there instead of running, but he could have also dropped it, so I took the guaranteed 8 yards over maybe, 6 or 8 that he would have picked up. Either way, I got the yards. Stephen Ridley finally gets his 5th carry of the game late into the 3rd quarter. We're not really a running team, especially with Maurice Jones-Drew injured. I'm not a fan of Stephen Ridley. That's one thing I wish that they would add to the player franchises. Because if you're the coach or GM, you get to control, well, they don't have GM. But if you're the coach or the owner, you get to control the draft. You get to control who's on the roster.
And LaRon
I'm not saying that I think that if you do a player franchise, you should be able to control who's on the roster. You do get to ask for a release if you wish, but you can't ask them to trade you. You can't tell them, hey, these are the free agents that I think we should sign. That'd be cool. Like, if you got to pick like 5 guys that you're like, hey, it would be cool if you sign these guys this offseason. Or, hey, can you trade for this guy? That'd be a cool ad. Like, if I was really that upset about the Jaguars franchise tagging me, I could have demanded my release, but I couldn't be like, no, I think you guys should trade me. Or, hey, can you guys re-sign Denard Robinson? Or anything like that. I couldn't ask them to go and sign a tight end or a receiver or anybody. So that's one thing that I wish Madden would add, is a little more feedback for the GM for player franchises. And we're starting off the fourth quarter up 21-3.
No doubt about it. Touchdown.
And it's only the start of the fourth quarter, but we're now up 28-3. The game's basically got a reach. Our defense is playing pretty good these 2 games against the Texans and Colts, after that awful game they had against the Packers where they gave up 31 points. And our defense already does their job, getting us the ball back early.
The give to the running back. He'll go left.
And while I am trying to run out this clock, I am trying to score again, but I also don't want to throw any interceptions or fumble the ball.
Third down. They didn't fare too well in these situations last week. Working that left side, and that's going to be a 3 and out.
And a bad throw leads us to fourth down. Should I go for it or should I punt?
He tried to run with it too quick. That's why he dropped it.
Harris is lined up now as a slot receiver. Tebow's going to take the snap from the shotgun. They fail to convert.
You know what would have been a nice chunk of yards for Justin Blackman in a first down? We turn the ball over because he drops it as he's getting tackled. Our defense gave up another 3 points. Luckily, we have a big enough lead where that's not really an issue. The game's basically still in the bag. There's no way I could really screw this up because I'm definitely not the 2016 Falcons and Matt Ryan. So this isn't the Super Bowl where they choked up the biggest lead that they had and let the Patriots come back and win it in overtime. So we're not losing this game like they did. Steven Ridley makes it to 10 carries. He's averaging a solid 3 yards per carry. We need Jones-Drew back. Or put in Deacon Cotton. Cotton Deacon. Whatever. He's probably better than Steven Ridley. And stick around for after the game. Tim Tebow is going to be doing a press conference, clearing up a few things. Golden Tate was the third catch of the game. Now has 77 yards, setting us nicely up in the red zone.
Now inside the red zone. They were very good at finishing off drives last week in this situation. And intercepted.
And I make a bad throw in the red zone, turning the ball over, trying to force it to my receiver when I should have not thrown it there. Luckily, Andrew Luck isn't as good in this Madden game as he is in others because he's just so far only put up 6 points. We gave him the ball. We gave him multiple opportunities to score and win this game. But he hasn't. And now Steven Ridley's injured. Luckily, he won't be missing any weeks. Either way, I'd rather go with Cotton Deacon. Now, last season, I was doing the thing where anytime I'd throw an interception, I would have to call 5 straight run plays with my running backs. I'm not doing that this season, but I can bring it back if you guys would like. Our first-round pick picks up the first down, continuing to run out this clock. This is our game. We're not going to lose. And I've now hit 138 yards on the ground to go with my 200-something passing yards. Pretty good game for me. That's a 2-minute warning. Still running down the clock. We improved to 3-1 with this win. And we have a nice 1-game lead over everybody else in our division. Like I mentioned earlier, Cotton Deacon has been a better receiver for us than a running back. He doesn't give very many touches on the ground. But so far today, he has 3 catches for 44 yards and a touchdown.
Lewis is moved away from the tight end position to now a receiver in the slot. That's a gain of 8.
Mercedes Lewis makes a catch for the first down. I was hoping he was going to run that guy over and get the touchdown, but he did not. On a positive note, he did stay inbounds, which keeps the clock moving. Trying to get Cotton Deacon his first rushing touchdown of his career, but for some reason he jumped into the air trying to leap over people when there was nobody there, and he got tackled short. And that is Cotton Deacon's first rushing touchdown of his career. For the day, he has 8 carries for 21 yards. Not fantastic, only averaging 2.6 yards per carry. But I have a feeling that if we gave him more carries, he would actually be a better running back. And we walk out of here with a nice 35-6 win over the Indianapolis Colts. My 4-touchdown performance was good enough to get us our second straight Player of the Week for the AFC. Next week we play the Vikings, so come back for that game. Stick around as Tebow's going to be talking to the media. And like always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And check out one of our other videos.
You know, it's really trying to keep perspective and not letting other people define you, because they sure do want to.